far in this course, we've covered all of our basic chords. We've covered them with major and minor shapes, even some dominant 7 shapes, some minor 7 and major 7 shapes. But in this lesson, I want to explore the rest of the neck using bar chords. Now, bar chords can be daunting because of the pain that you may experience in your wrist or your hand, but that's obviously because there's nothing else in life that requires you to do this thing with your hand. It's a strange shape to be doing, so it does take a little time, but just like anything, you put a little time in and it becomes second nature, and you're going to build the right muscles to be able to pull it off. It just takes a little time. If you feel like it's going slow, that's alright, just keep at it. Now, to really know where you are on the guitar, what's really helpful when navigating all up and down the guitar is to know where the notes are. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and all the sharps and flats in between. So if we learn all of the note names on the thick E string, then we can start just by playing bar chords with the root of the chord on that string. What that means is, if you look at that F bar chord shape, it's just the same as an E major shape, but just up 1 fret, and our finger is acting like the nut of the guitar. We're just barring there on the 1st fret. So if we know that that note is F, which makes this chord an F chord, then that means if we learn all of the note names on this top string, then all we need to do is move this chord shape up and down the guitar, and we'll have the desired chord. So if I say, can you play me a G major bar chord? Then if you find the note G, then you're going to be able to play that bar chord, and it's going to be a G major bar chord. If I say, play me an A bar chord, then if you find the note A on that string, then you can play an A major bar chord. If I say, can you find me a B major bar chord, then if you find B on the 7th fret, then you can play a B major bar chord. If I say, can you play me a C major bar chord, and so on and so forth. If I say C, there's no flat or sharp in between B and C, so C is on the 8th fret, and there you go, you have a C major bar chord. And if I ask you to play a C minor bar chord, then you just need to take that middle finger off, and that's our minor shape. And again, if I start and say, can you play me a G minor bar chord, you find the note G, and then you make that shape, G minor bar chord. If I say, can you play me a G sharp, then you go, where's G? Where's G sharp? Just 1 up from that on the 4th fret, and so on and so forth. So we can learn all these positions just with the root on the thickest string, on the 6th string. So after we learn all of those on the 6th string, then the best thing to do is learn all of the chords with the root on the 5th string next. So if the 5th string's first note is A, the open string, then B is on the 2nd fret. So if I say, where is, can you play me a B major bar chord, then you take the A chord, the open A chord, you're just going to move this shape up. So if I go 1 fret up, between A and B is B flat, so the 1st fret on the 5th string is B flat. And then if you go 1 more, then you've got that B major bar chord. If I say, can you play me a D major bar chord, you find the note D on the 5th fret here, and then you play that shape. And again, if I asked you to play a D minor bar chord, then you're just going to make this a D minor shape. Now, if you remember, this D minor shape is the open A minor shape, the root on the 5th string, and we're moving it up until this finger gets to the note D. And there we go, we have a D minor bar chord. Now, knowing where all these notes are and knowing all the sharps and flats in between those notes, then I should hypothetically be able to ask you, can you play a C sharp minor bar chord, and then you would either find C sharp on the 6th string on the 9th fret, or you find C sharp on the 4th fret of the 5th string, and then you play your minor chord from that, or if you play your minor chord from there. So with many of these chords you have two options. You can either play it with the root on the 6th string or the root on the 5th string. Now what this does is this completely opens up the guitar. Now many guitarists will just play open chords and maybe use a capo to change key, and that's fine. If that's what you want to do, then that's great. But in this course I'm going to show you without a capo, because not all people have capos, and it's really great to be able to explore the guitar without the use of a capo. You'll find that it opens up much more patterns in your head and connecting notes all over the place, and it can be very helpful for your musical development. And it goes without saying that bar chords are much harder on acoustic guitar, because generally speaking, acoustic guitar has more string tension, so that means it's harder to press down the strings. Okay, so look at this diagram here. We've got our first string. So from bottom to the top, you've got your E, F. There's no sharp or flat in between the E and the F. And then we have F sharp or G flat. So F sharp and G flat are the same thing. We've got F, F sharp, G. So if it's F sharp, we're just saying it's just one note above F. Or G flat is just one note below G. So after G, we have G sharp, and then A. So that G sharp could also be called A flat. A sharp or B flat, and then B. And there's no sharp or flat in between B and C. So we have B and then C on the 8th fret. The 9th fret is C sharp or D flat, and then we have D, and then we have D sharp or E flat, and then we're up to the 12th fret, we're back to E. So that's just an octave higher than the open string. Now this pattern just repeats itself. We have E, F, F sharp, G, and so on, just the same. So if you look to the next string, you'll see that you have A at the bottom. So you go up from A to A sharp or B flat, and then you have B, again no sharp or flat, until C, C sharp or D flat, D, D sharp or E flat, E. Now E here is also an octave of this open 6th string. So you can play an E major chord down here, or if you play a E major bar chord from this. So you have two choices for an E major chord, but again they sound different because one's in a lower octave and one's in a higher octave. So this just repeats itself. If you want if we find F up here on the 5th string, then we can play an F major chord, but in a higher octave. So this just opens up the possibility on the guitar. So by learning these and learning the position for minor, major, dominant 7, major 7, minor 7, then we can play all of the chords in any of those 5 shapes all over the guitar. So that means if you look at a piece of music that has a bunch of bar chords that aren't the same open chords that we learned earlier in the course, then you will be able to play them. Then learning new songs doesn't become a daunting process. It really frees you up to explore the guitar, and you learn so much more through this process. Okay, in the next video we're just going to go a little bit deeper and look at these shapes up and down the neck.